Okay, so for our last stop, we're located here just off of Grizzly Peak Road, right above campus. And our goal here at this last stop is to identify the identity of this unit in front of us here to determine whether or not it's sedimentary, volcanic, or metamorphic. So if we just look at it, we see this sort of off-white gray color here that is not necessarily totally diagnostic of the identity of the rock. You can ignore the white and sort of reddish patches as just sort of weathering of the surface of this outcrop. But if we go in closer, we can maybe determine what the identity of this unit is. So at first you can see this sort of coarse-grained, prominent rock clasts that are pretty angular, actually, if you look at them relative to the background. And that may have you thinking that this is some sort of sedimentary unit. But let's look a little closer to see if we can maybe differentiate things a little more. So in getting actually right up to the outcrop, we can see what instead looked like a siliciclastic unit is actually quite porous. So if you can see all of these little vesicles here that are quite prominent throughout this gray unit, but intermixed with this are some very dark grained clasts into it. So this raises some questions about what the potential identity of these sort of dark and porous clasts within this unit are, could provide some identity to the name of this rock. So if we look here, we see these reddish vesicular looking clasts that are quite prominent, as well as some pinkish ones throughout this unit. And you notice that they're interspersed throughout this entire lithology. So in taking that into account, we can see that we have these what appear to be volcanic grains inside of this coarse or fine-grained unit, but is also quite vesicular itself. So if I was looking at this rock, I would have some observations here that could potentially help guide me to the identity of this light-colored, porous rock with inclusions of some darker grains of other rocks that are quite angular interspersed with them. So from this, your job is to determine whether or not you would consider this unit metamorphic, sedimentary, or volcanic. And really just guide yourself based upon the photos that you see here, but also taking into account the surface texture that we see within this unit to decide whether or not you believe that this is metamorphic, sedimentary, or volcanic.